What's going on, people? Everybody, happy Sunday. If you in Alabama, y'all probably got hit by that tornado, whatever that was that came through this afternoon. And if you're like northern Alabama, y'all got snowstorm going on right now. So we all over the place in Alabama today, man. What's up, Jason? Hold on a second.
Yes, sir.
There you go. All right. What's up?
Nothing much, my brother. How you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. I know y'all weather ain't too much better.
Nah, man. Snowing like crazy up here. It's one of those days where you got to just inside and chill and watch football or do a podcast like we about to do.
That's a fact, man. And hey, what are the people watching today? What are they watching, man? We got a special treat today. We got a special treat, something that we have never done before.
That's right.
It's a new show.
New show. Brand new.
Brand new. First episode right here.
First episode. Tell people
the Agitators. All right, the Agitators, man. We this is the first one. Jason Isaiah, L. Milliner. All right, and we got two special guests that's about to join us. We're gonna have a great conversation. All right, so get y'all popcorn out and make sure y'all get in the comments and say what y'all want to say. If y'all want to say something positive, negative, whatever, man. Y'all want to joke on me, talk about my bald head? That's cool. Everything cool, great, wonderful.
Yep. Do the same. All jokes are welcome. Y'all can joke on me. I know.
All jokes. But hey, but I'm letting y'all know I'm from the hood. I do joke back.
Right.
I know how to roast. So
we definitely do that.
And I got the mic too. So.
and I'm brothers with the man who got the mic. So we good either way.
There it is.
Episode 101. We are the Agitators.
There it is. Episode 1. Hit that like, share the video. All right, like the page, the Agitators on Facebook. All right, with all that being said, let's add in our guest. She'll be on here in a minute. We got Deidre, we got Carolyn. What's up, Carolyn?
Hello. Hi. Your guest.
Hey, tell the people like about yourself. The people that don't know you. I know a lot of people do know you though.
Carolyn, Republican. That's about it. Pretty good person, Christian.
I heard that. I think we all. Well, I don't know if we're all Christians, but I know I'm a Christian. Jason is.
Yep.
There you go, Deidre. Deidre, what's up? We live.
Hey, everybody. Good world.
Yeah.
Hope everybody's Sunday.
That's right. Hey, we all survived the tornado, hurricane, whatever that was that came through Montgomery earlier.
Amen.
Y'all good over there on Deidre? Where you at?
Yes. I have some relatives on the side that I took used to. It seems like that's the part that really hit.
Mm-hmm. They shut down I-85. It's shut down till like tomorrow.
Yeah, a lot of that is working. Came back home.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. All right. So I think all of us on this panel right here, the people that are watching that really don't know, a lot about what's going on. If y'all don't know me, I'm a very conservative person. I talk about Christ and politics from a conservative angle. All right. I am a registered Republican. I've been that since like, I don't know, 2017, 18, something like that. Yeah, I think Jason, go ahead and speak for yourself, man. You vote Democrat. What you voting for? Hold on, start back over. We can't.
Values. I'm a conservative.
Hold on, pause that. We can't hear what you're saying. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. All right, try now. Hold on, man. I don't know what's up with this. Hold on, man. Might be my Obama app. Hold on a second. What's up with this thing, man? Why my boy? I can hear you talking, but it's not picking you up. I don't know what's up with this thing, man. I'm gonna blame Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Carolyn? How you voting?
I have a story which I won't talk about episode, but I have an age of my journey that I'll
I know it. Is it just me? I can't hear anybody.
They we're cutting in and out.
Yeah, it's like it's cutting in and out. Hold on, let me try something. All right, Carolyn, try to talk now.
You can hear everything I say, right? Can you hear me? Yeah, you hear me.
All right, Carolyn, go ahead. What you were saying about how you vote? I'm gonna give you the floor.
I vote Republican. Can the question Deidre, the question.
Nah, so you talking about the question about the about USA and about who was here?
Yes, that's.
All right. So I don't know what was it from, like a post? It was from a post where I forgot what the post was originally, but I know that y'all had made a comment or something about black people being the first people in America on American land. So my question was, where in America were black people the first people at? That's what I want. That's what I want to understand. 'Cause I don't know. I want somebody to teach me about this because I don't know anything about this. I always heard the Native Americans was here first. That's what I always heard. Y'all tell me different. Hey, hit your unmute yourself, Deidre, and I'm gonna mute up and let y'all talk.
Okay, I'm gonna first say that I don't claim to be I'm not an expert, but I'm just speaking on what I've read and what I've learned from a anthropologic and geographic standpoint. I do remember when I was very young learning about the Earth being one big piece called Pangea, and I do know that life started in Africa. So if the world was one big piece and the first people were black, then all of the world was Africa. And then I do know that through the earthquakes, that's how the earth began to shift the tectonic plates. And that's how we got the separation of not countries, but continents. And so that's how North America, South America, Central America, all those places were formed. Native Americans, like from the earliest studies of American history, I'm sorry, they came through on the from the Siberian Strait into Alaska, into America. So, as far as the New World, yes, they were here first. But, I would say not originally, but in the most modern history that we have, then yes.
Okay, so you're saying that back whenever it was all one big landmass. Earth was all one big landmass. It wasn't broken up into continents like it is now, where you had different regions around the world where different people live: Asians, Hispanics, Europeans, so on and so forth. Um, Now when you say that black people like were everywhere, like what part of America were black people in? Are you saying like when black people when America was the landmass of America, where were black people at then before anybody else was there?
Um, I can't answer like when the America as we know it, the landmass, the country that's in formation now. I cannot, speak on that, but I just know from a scientific, excuse me, y'all, from a scientific standpoint of how the world originated, then yes, black people were the first on Earth. But I can't, speak for how original America, except for what I said that Asians, not Asians, Native Americans have Asian ancestors that crossed the Siberian Strait, and that's how they became the first people that we know of to be in America.
Okay. Um, my thing is my thing is this: like we learn about history as far as the Native Americans were on the land that we call the United States of America now. They were all over the United States land, right? But I do understand that there's like this history that's been taught to where black people believe, quote unquote black people believe that they were the first ones on American land. But like I'm trying to understand like what if they were here already, that means that there's a history of them being somewhere. Like they had a settlement, they had you know tribes, they had buildings, they had things that they had things that would be left over after they left, like how you got the Native Americans all over the country. Like in the West, they had the pueblos where they got the rock homes right in the mountains. It's still there, never went away. Same thing when you look over, like around here now. There's in Moundville, in Alabama, Moundville. That's a historical place where Native Americans were. It's still there. Like you still see the structure of what they built. So I'm trying to understand where were these structures at for black people that was in America back before the everybody else came over here. That's what I'm trying to understand. Like where's the footprint of their being here?
And I would have to do a lot more research on. Now, I do want to make myself clear for the people that's watching. I do not affiliate myself with the Hebrew Israelite people that believe black this, black that. We're superior to all the other people on earth because, you know, as El mentioned, there are some black people that believe that black people rule, or quote unquote black people, as he says, that believe that black people own everything in this world, and that's not how I feel. And I will say that I'm a believer. I'm agnostic. That's why I was saying about the. That's why I speak on scientifics and not necessarily what the Bible says, but I do want to make myself clear that I'm not one of those. Not disrespecting anybody's belief system, but um, I think everyone is equally loved by God. I just want to put that out there. But to answer your question, honestly, I would have to do more research to see that, like, once the world separated, what happened, why black people were, I won't say replaced, how um, Native Americans became the first discovered people here.
What?
Go ahead, Carolyn. So I was asking her about what part of America were black people at first before anybody else was here. Where's the evidence of them being here?
Well, the question asked her us the question, and it was in um because we said that Indians first, said that blacks were here first, Africans were here first, and so we were to come on and explain to you um, with evidence and proof of what we were saying. And so as she stated, I think I missed that part, but I did hear a little bit of what she was saying, that African Americans were, well, Africans were the first on this earth, and that um, okay, so once she made that statement, they say that that's a myth. It's based on what was scribed in the caves and stuff like that. So they look at that as a myth up until 2010, and they discovered a ghost gene, and the ghost gene is an African gene. They don't have any artifacts. They don't have any fossils, any bones. I mean, well, same thing, but they don't have any evidence to show um, that DNA existed, but it's there. And so it was the very first, and they call it the ghost gene. I expect everyone to Google the ghost gene. Don't just take my word for it. I expect everybody to Google the ghost gene. It's the God gene, and it's from West Africans, which most of you are West Africans. If you have black in you, um, your genes come from Africa. Even though we are loved and are patriots and Americans, um, those genes are still there, and we're discussing the genes, not patriotism. And so you also have to look at um, Genesis 6 in the Bible, verses 1 through 7, and you stop right there. Genesis 6 verses 1 through 7, and then you go to the book of Enoch. Okay, because Democrats removed 15 books from the Bible. You didn't know that, did you? um, um, North Carolina, a guy from North Carolina decided that the 15 books would um, would not be beneficial for us as Africans um, to learn, and it would be a disturbance of peace. So they decided not to put the other books in the Bible. And those books, you should read about the ghost genes. You should read Genesis 6, 1 through 7, and you jump from there to the book of Enoch. You don't go to Noah's Ark. We all know about Noah's Ark and why God um, got rid of the world, because it was corrupt, um, similar to what it is now. So, and then you're gonna have to read about the fallen. I know you don't want to hear this. Most people don't want to hear this, but you have to read about the fallen angels. The fallen angels, everything about them was black. The shadow was black, the smoke was black, the everything about them. So you have to read about the fallen angels in the book of Revelation in order to know about your history. Because most of our history as Black Americans was invented by Democrats. It was invented by Democrats. Your hair, the style of your hair. Democrats didn't want you to wear your hair. Do you know why they didn't want you to wear your natural hair? because it has a cosmic energy. The black hair, the coils, the nappy hair, it has a cosmic energy. And I grew up, and people used to say all the time, "Oh, you have beautiful hair. Is that your natural hair?" It's like, yes. And I know that because I'm biracial, but I would always say, "You have pretty hair too. You have beautiful hair." And a lot of people put hair weave and cover it up. And it's not because they want to, it's because Democrats made them do that in order to fit in with society. They made them do that. And we have been accustomed to that culture. It's what they call the black culture, but that's not, it was invented. That culture was invented. And what I think that we need to do is we need to get with the children, which I believe the church should have taught this while as we were growing up, especially I know they didn't know about the ghost gene because they just discovered that gene, and it is an African gene. It was the first gene on this earth, on the entire earth. It was the first gene, and
And
it created Neanderthals and all the other ones. When you learn about the ghost genes, it'll tell you that that DNA um, created the Neanderthals. But if you go to Genesis 6:1-7, and you go to the book of Enoch, it talks about the angels mating, which they call them the the God people of God, the people of God mating with animals. Pro.
Okay. Okay. So all right. So hold off right there. Jason, hit your unmute yourself, and then do you want to respond to her? I know I got plenty to say, but I don't want to.
You go
I'm
first.
gonna
Go
I'm gonna,
ahead.
I'm gonna let you, I'm gonna let you hop in here.
Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
All right. So we take it step by step, but like, okay, first of all, this is my question right here. Before we get to the, because I got a follow up question I want to ask. But in America, on USA land, where's the evidence that black people were on this land before Native Americans, before Europeans, before everybody else? Where's the evidence of that? Because we have evidence of the Native Americans being here because we have their dwellings, we have cave systems that they were living in, we have artifacts, we had arrows, the arrows that they carved out of stone. We have all this evidence. Where's the evidence of black people being here? That's what I want to know.
Okay, I gave you the evidence. My part of the evidence tell you about the ghost gene, and the ghost says
But but that got nothing to do with, but that don't cover America though.
it does.
That's just generally speaking from the origination of man, but the origination of man didn't originate in America though.
The origination of man originated through every being on this earth. It doesn't matter if they were Indian. It doesn't matter if they were white, black, Asian, Hispanic. They all came from that ghost gene, which is African gene. You in order for you to debate on this gene, you would have to study it. Okay, so you're asking who did this land belong to, and I'm telling you that the ghost gene said that this land all over the world belonged to African Americans. And not only does the land belong to African Americans, the people belong to African Americans. Those are your nieces and nephews. If you read and learn about the ghost gene, this isn't fiction. This isn't something I'm making up. This is something that I want to tell you. I'm biracial. Me, white power. I'm telling you that the ghost genes, but from scientific evidence, shows that all people came from African, African descent, not Africa.
Okay. All
They,
right.
they,
So on that vein, Jason, you want to say something?
I guess I'm just trying to get a clarification from you, Carolyn. So are you saying that with the ghost gene, everybody who has existence, whether you identify as white, Asian, Mexican, whatever, whatever you identify as, if you're a human being, you're technically African. Is that correct?
you were technically the descendants of Africans. You have the evolution started from the so evolution from being bent over. I know that didn't sound right. To upright, standing upright from being uh, that's the process of evolution where, and when I say animals, I don't I really mean animals. Because that's the process of evolution where people went from uh the monkeys or apes or whatever they call it, monkeys, and then they gradually became human. So
Mm.
even if I say that other people, other races were animals, I'm not lying. It doesn't sound right, and I don't like saying it, but that's the truth. Okay.
Are you saying that the African, the original man was an animal too?
The original man was it says it was a God gene. It was God. It was a it was a gene that wasn't a man.
But
It
was it an
it
animal?
it was not. It made it with animals. Okay, that was the
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. So you're saying that the original man had the God gene. He's the perfect man. He made it with animals down the road, and then it created the rest of these races.
racist.
Yeah, races like different people like Asians, Hispanics,
Racist.
whites.
I thought you said racist.
She thought you said racist.
They don't exist either. But I'm just asking for the sake of the conversation. You're saying that because the perfect man made it with animals, that created the rest of these colors and cultures and stuff, right?
Yes, but the ghost gene doesn't say it was a man. It says it was like an angel or something of that they cannot clarify as a human being. And I know something about the gene because I have that gene. And so I had to study it to see to learn more about it. Most black Americans have that gene. Okay. And everyone should learn about that gene. So I'm saying this to clarify that this land did not belong to Indians or anyone else. It belonged to Africans who made it with all the other races to form what we have today. So um, I heard the saying as we all were growing up that we were Indians. But if you do a DNA test, you have a ghost gene. And if the ghost gene is Indian, then so be it. It has not been described as Indian. It has not been. It wasn't described as Caucasian. It wasn't described as Neanderthals or all whatever all the other um, since the beginning of time. Um, it was described. The gene was described as West Africans. It's a gene that West Africans possess. So I think that was the question about Indians owning this land. And when people say that they own this land, this is American land. Okay, and if we're going to get technical, let's go back to the beginning of time to who owned this land before anyone else, and that was the Ghost Genes Africans. And that Ghost Gene created all other races. It made it, and
That
gave you.
sound. You know what that
I got a
sound like?
question for you, Carolyn.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Real quick, so just so I understand, with your belief with the ghost gene, was the ghost gene before Adam and Eve or after Adam and Eve?
This isn't my belief. That's why I asked you to study it. If you have something you can pull up and just Google or AI and say, explain to me the ghost gene. This isn't anything. I can't give you a lot of information about it. I'm just going about what scientists have discovered.
Do you believe in it though?
Um, like all my life I grew up and black people used to say, like, I'm not black, I always say that all the time, but black people used to say, we're gods, we're kings, and I used to and they used to say, we're the first people, we were the first people here. We heard it all the time. We heard it all the time. And I would think they were, I would say, ooh, I was like, ooh, it's something, not right about that. You don't, that's not an abomination of God. You don't say that. And so, when I found out about the ghost gene, that's when I learned um, they were onto something. They knew something, just like our history was erased.
So so I guess my clarifying question is, when I called it your belief, I'm taking it as if you believe that. You do believe in the ghost gene, right?
I said belief is different from scientific evidence. Okay,
Well,
scientific evidence is evidence that was studied by scientists, and it's pertinent evidence that you can use and present to someone and say, these are facts. You cannot dispute them. The only way to dispute that evidence is to get other scientists to say, we we researched that gene and that wasn't true. So
okay.
right now, my belief is in God. Okay. So the ghost gene is a scientific fact.
Well, according to that, does it come before Adam and Eve or afterwards?
Um, it comes before the fallen angels became before Adam and Eve, remember?
So the ghost gene, I'm just trying to understand. The ghost gene comes before Adam and Eve. You're saying, okay.
The ghost genes came that's why um God sent Noah to form the ark, because they started mating with his creations. Okay, because um Lucifer thought that he was God, so God threw him out of heaven onto earth. So when did God throw Lucifer onto earth? The fallen angels, they came before. That's the book of Revelations, I think. They came before Adam and Eve. Who do you think told Adam and Eve, was able to tell Adam and Eve and tell Eve to eat from the
Well,
tree?
yeah, the serpent. I guess I was just trying to clarify because when you was describing the ghost gene, it made it seem like the ghost gene was responsible for, it was the godly gene that you're saying, and it started sleeping with the animals and created, mankind essentially.
Well,
But trying to figure that out.
you have to learn about the ghost gene. Then you have to learn about Genesis 6. I need to go get my Bible. I wish Genesis 6
I got
and
y'all. I got y'all. Genesis 6,
1 through 7.
1 through 7. I'm gonna read it for everybody so everybody can be on the same
Yeah.
page.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. So basically, it's saying that you had these giants, you had these sons of man that were I think that's kind of like what she's alluding to, as far as them not being like men, they were like fallen angels.
It says
It
son.
says son. Hold on a second. Go ahead, start back over.
It says sons of God. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So once you learn about the ghost gene, then you read Genesis 6, 1 through 7, which you just read. Then you have to read about. You have to go to the book of Enoch and the book of Revelation, and you have to learn about the fallen angels.
All right. All
Okay.
right. Okay. Well, look, I wanna get back to something else. So I get what you're saying about the origin. I mean, personally, I know that Adam and Eve was the first man and woman. From them, everybody else was created. Uh,
Exactly.
were there giants and these beings that were mating with females and having children? Yes. 'Cause the Bible says it. And everything that's in the Bible has been proven through science to have been true. Like places on earth, right? The Red Sea is a real place. Um Israel, real place. So on and so forth. Bethlehem, Nazareth, so on. All these places are historically been proven to be true. So we know that the Bible is a true testament of life of the stories that it tells. Um, I want to get back to something that you said earlier about the the original man being African, and from Africans we have you saying that every African American has that ghost gene in them. Now that sounds a lot like what the dishonorable Louis Farrakhan be talking about. Cause don't he says the same thing, right? He says that a spaceship came down and created they took the black man onto the spacecraft, and from the black man they created the white man,
Through
right? And it was
aliens
like
and
it
stuff
was
and
it was a,
stuff.
it was a screw it was a screw up. Basically, it's like they messed up. That's what the story is. Anybody that if you feel offended, I don't care. That's what the story they told. They told the story. I ain't tell the story. That's their story. So that sounds like kind of like that though, because you're saying that the Africans were the original, and then they started mating with these animals and stuff, and then from that you got people that aren't African.
Okay.
Y'all follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I explained that to you. When I was growing up, people were saying we're gods. People were saying we're the original people. I mean, black people were saying we're gods. Black people were saying we're the original people. Black people were saying we were kings. I said that, and I said to you, I thought that my first thought was something is wrong with that. There's is something not right about it. Okay. So most people could say that, but they are no longer able to you can say what you want to say, but they're no longer able to um justify saying that black people weren't the original people. They cannot dispute it because of the new scientific evidence in 2010 um, of the ghost gene, which is African descent. And so, with the other part of them mating with the animals, procreating with the animals, and then they that's how the um, evolution came about. So all I can do is just tell you the facts, and you have to look up the evidence in order to see. I don't want to sit here and say that um this is my ideology, or this is just my way of thinking, or my something I put together, because I did not. This is evidence and proof. Everything I've stated is not only scientific evidence, it's also in the Bible. It's also in the Bible. And the reason why you don't know a lot of stuff that's in the Bible is because Democrats decide, and this is true too. You can look this up. I'm not making this up either. Okay, Democrats decided to take out fifteen of the books. Okay, Ethiopia decided to keep the 88 books. In the United States, North Carolina, the Democrats.
Well, I think we lost her.
Yeah, I think she fell off. I ain't knock her off. I promise you, I ain't knock her off. I was listening to what she finna say.
Yeah,
But
me too.
she jump back on here in a minute.
I guess I want to touch on this too with her. As a Christ follower, we believe that Adam and Eve were the first two people. But what she's saying, if I hear her correctly, that's what I was trying to get her to clarify. She's saying that it's a ghost gene that is also a godlike gene that is also an African gene that is sleeping with animals that made all the people. Is that how you understood it too?
Yep, basically.
Whoa.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. This shit sound crazy. But
Extremely.
But a lot of people had that belief though about the whole black people were the original people and stuff like that. Now, this is why I asked the question: if this is true, if black people were the first people in America on American land, where is the evidence that they were the first people on the land? There would be evidence. That's all I'm saying. Like every people that live wherever in the world, there's evidence that they live there. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I mean, but I did find the book that I forgot about, and it was called they were before Columbus, and it shows African fossils here on the land we now know as America, Brazil, other parts of the Americas and South America. Even with me, I told y'all that I'm friends with a lot of Hispanics, and they a lot of them come from Veracruz, Mexico, that has African ancestry and stuff. I mean, it's just been all over the world. I mean, you're just not gonna find too many places that black people haven't had their hands in. Now, I mean, it's just anthropologic facts that black people. I mean, they're not scientists say life started in Africa, and who's from Africa. So, I'm not coming from a superior standpoint. I'm just saying scientifically. And once again, I don't think I'm above anyone or better than anyone when I say, what I'm saying. It's just based on what I've read and studied.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, I'm just I personally, I got to see. Look, man. Hey, hold on real quick, y'all. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I don't know who this is. I don't know who you are. You don't have no real name up here. I don't know. I don't know what T World's at. I don't know what that, bro. If you want to talk about that, go do it on your YouTube channel, buddy. This is my YouTube channel over here. You talk about
That's
what you
right.
want to
That's
talk
right.
about on your YouTube channel. You can talk about lizards, frogs. I don't care what you talk about, bro. Being gay, homosexual, whatever it is that you do. You talk about that over there. We're having our conversation about this right here, right now. Okay?
That's right. That's
You
right.
can skedaddle, go away. You can stay in the chat. That's cool too. But I'm just letting you know, man. We can talk about what we talking about. You'll be all right. All right, let's get back to it. I just have an issue with if you gonna say that black people were here, I need to see some kind of evidence. Because the Native American, the Choctaws, the Creeks, the Iroquois, the Seminoles, all of them got evidence. I'm
Cherokee.
just saying, like, they got evidence.
That's New
Mm-hmm.
World, though.
Okay, we have now at 2010. You're gonna have to look up. You look Google the ghost gene and just
I don't want to
read.
Google it.
Well, I'm
I don't want to Google it. I want you to tell me where in America were black people living. Where did they settle? Where did they build? Anything. Give me anything. I don't care. Tell me what language they spoke. Anything.
African people have the most languages other than Asians. Have the most languages. Um, whew, um, but you're gonna have to do your research. I mean, I can tell you everything.
I don't want to research it. You here right now. I want you to tell me. That's what you here for. I want you to tell me
Mm-hmm.
because your claim was black people was on America first. All I want to know is where's the evidence of this. Otherwise, it don't exist. It didn't happen.
It does
It
exist.
does.
You gotta Google. Hold on. Let me pull it up. See, the thing is, my information was coming from the ghost gene. Okay, so I was
But that could be made up too, though. Because you know, scientists nowadays they say men can be women, women can be men. They say all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Scientists don't know what they be talking about. They told us that Pluto was a planet. Now they saying it's a moon. They don't know. They don't know anything.
this is DNA. This isn't This isn't Pluto. This isn't. They can turn a man into a woman, but
No, they
they
can't.
What?
still have
Still
that
have
man.
man.
They cannot do change the DNA. Nobody can change the DNA. And so what's more important right now than any scientific discoveries is the discovery that your DNA is is the ghost gene, and the ghost gene is a gene of the very first people from Africa on this on the planet. It
All
could
right.
have. I don't know. It could. It could an alien gene where the first people were aliens. They don't know either, but they said that was the first gene. Okay, so all the stuff.
But how they even know that's the first gene though? How they know that?
Yeah, what are they basing that off of?
You're gonna have to read it. It tells all that. Can you pull it up? Because you know,
No, but see, here's the problem. They're not going to explain that though.
yes, they will.
What I just asked? How can they prove that was the first gene? They can't prove that.
Yes,
They can't.
proven.
There lies the problem.
No, that's not Miss Dunn. That's it's called ghost gene. You cannot delete from your from word. That's fact. That's something you can't brush under the rug. You can't.
No, but you can make it up though.
It's not.
What are they using to prove this? What are they using to prove
Like
that
a
this gene
liberal.
exists?
You sound like a liberal. Okay, I asked you to research the ghost gene, and I told you. In other words, don't take my word for it. Research it.
Oh, you want me to take the scientist's word for it? The people that don't even know what a man is, what a woman is. You want me to take their word for it?
Well,
I think they say that stuff about the genders because, you know, of cancel culture and not wanting to lose their jobs and stuff like that, you know, because to protect feelings. I think scientists really do know what's up.
well, the thing with the
I have a question too. Are we allowed to address people that are coming?
Oh,
Yeah, what you got?
I want to ask Yarshara a question because he and I have had private conversations about religion. Okay, I used to follow a sect of Hebrew Israelites called the Nation of Yahweh. Y'all might have seen them at Fairview, um, the farmers market. They wear all white, but that's not the sect that he's a part of. But still, I think they have the same basic, you know, knowledge that they teach. And I wanted to ask him about the part in the Bible where the guy was saying, "I am black." I forgot, and about how we were cursed, and oh, never mind, never.
Man, first off, ain't no way in the Bible they say anything about being black.
Yeah, that's not in the Bible.
They don't say that nowhere.
But that's
those are the books.
I'm saying I don't believe that, but that's what's being taught. Right?
Those are that were moved from the Bible. I told you that those books, the Democrats decided to remove those 15 books from the Bible, and you haven't read them. And anybody black should read 15
How you know I ain't read them?
Huh?
How you know I ain't read them?
Well, you would.
You assume.
Well, I'm based that on her. But it's in there. It's in the. It's you said it wasn't in the Bible, but it's in the Bible. It's in.
So it said people were black. They were black.
It. Well, first of all,
yes, sorry not to interrupt, Carolyn, but yes, when I was a part of that sect, I will have to like on private time get you a copy of that yellow book from the Hebrew Israelite sect that I was once a part of.
Right.
It explains everything that I'm saying, but it's been about 6 years since I've put that down, so I don't remember a lot of the stuff. But yes, they interpreted a lot of the Bible as people saying, "I am black," and
well, see, I don't mean to interrupt either, but that's interpretation, and they interpret it incorrectly because there's nowhere in the Bible where it mentions race. Now, race and nationality are two different things. So you have race with black people, white people, this, that, and the third. But nationality does exist, and nationality isn't in the Bible. So what we're saying is we want to know
black is in those
where exactly in the Bible. Tell us what scripture says somebody saying I'm black or I'm white or any of these races, because race actually is a social construct that didn't come about until like the 1600s, 1700s. That's a man-made word. So we want to know where in the Bible does it say anything about somebody saying, yes, I am black. We know Paul was from Turkey because that was his nationality. But I want to know where, and I can go on and on with other people from the Bible, where they were from, because nationality exists. But I want to know where it says in the Bible that somebody was specifically black or white.
It's the 15 books from the Bible that Democrats removed. I'm going to say that 100 times. The 15 books is one of them is the Book of Enoch. There's a whole 15 books that were removed from the Bible. And you can Google that. This is evidence. I mean, this is true. I'm not, everything you hear me say is going to be based on facts. I'm not going to make anything up. But these 15 books were removed from the Bible, but Ethiopia decided to keep the 88 books. They didn't remove them. But Democrats, I forgot the man's name from North Carolina.
Excuse me, Carolyn, 1 second. I'm gonna go make a private phone call to one of my friends. I knew during that time, so I can get him to tell me that scripture that I was referring to.
All right.
Okay. And while let's discuss Jesus' hair made of wool.
I mean, we can do that too, but what? So, all right. I'll ask you this way: what separates a black person from a white person, from an Asian person, from a Hispanic person? What separates? What makes a person black? Exactly.
Well, a lot of people think that color decides each person of race, but it's actually DNA.
Okay, but we can't see the DNA in people, so how you know one person from the next? How would you know that I'm black versus you versus Jason versus Taylor Swift? Like, how do you know who's black and who's not? Based on what?
Okay, so let's go back in history when there were black people that passed for white, and on their birth certificates it said white. I have relatives, okay, and on their birth certificates it says white, but their DNA is black. So you ask the question, how do I prove that the DNA is what decides what color and what race you really are?
I'm asking you, how can you look at somebody and know whether they're black, white, so on and so forth? I'm asking you, how do you know what their DNA is by looking at them? That's what I want to know.
You can't tell people's DNA. I think that's what I said.
Oh, okay. So when we look at people, you don't know whether they're black or white or whatever by looking at them, right?
You're making educated. Okay, so if you see a Chinese person, you can be like, okay, that person is Chinese, Vietnamese, South Korean, or something of that, Asian. You know that. Okay,
Right. But you might not know what country they came from. So you might think they're Chinese, but they're really Laotian. You might think they're Japanese, but they're really Korean.
okay, and you, if they might look Japanese or Korean or white or Asian or all the other races, but their DNA can still say, as it has proven in history, that there are some white people who pass, some black people that pass as white, and they were able to um were able to be white instead of black. So in history, and I have evidence, is I'm not making this up. Okay, there's evidence. There
I mean,
are
I'm hearing that part. I get that part. I get that they passed, quote unquote, passed as white or whatever the case. But what I'm saying is, and you already answered the question, which is, how can you look at somebody and know what they are? You can't, because it's a social construct, like Jason Isaiah just said earlier. It's a made up social construct, which is why Chris Brown is a different skin tone and looks totally different from Wesley Snipes, who looks different from Jason Isaiah. People tell me I'm black. I don't look nothing like any of them people I just named. So how do you can't know who's what based on how they look? People can just tell you they are whatever. You said you're biracial, right? I'm biracial. Do we look anything alike? Like, I said you're biracial, right? You said you're biracial.
Mm-hmm.
I am too. To the world, we look nothing alike. So how would you how would I look at you, and to me the world will say you a black woman? Nothing about you looks biracial.
The world will say, and the world always said, even if my skin tone is brown, I do not have black hair. My hair identifies me as a mixed race. It doesn't have, I don't have to have the skin color, but the hair identifies a black person as a black person. And that scientific fact is called universal hair. Black hair, the nappy coiled hair, is universal hair. The hair that they cover up has a cosmic energy that reaches God faster than my mixed hair, than my fur, my hair made of fur. No perm, no perm, natural hair. Okay. So that's how to identify me and my race. Even if my skin is not bright enough, my hair is white enough. No perm, no all of the other stuff, none of that. There's no wigs, no weave. This is my natural hair. This is that identifies me as biracial. And I am you don't have it. You have hair around your face, but that looks like a black man. So you have black man's characteristics as well as I do. You have white characteristics as well as I do. But to answer your question, I don't know how we got on the subject of race, but
Because you was talking about the ghost gene and Africans,
yeah,
and being a black and stuff. So then I was asking you, what makes some person black to begin with? Like, how do you know a black person from anybody else?
the DNA probably look at them and see how dark the
But see the DNA. You're what you're doing is, at that point you're saying, okay, I'm gonna have to trust the word of another person who I don't know to tell me who's what based on some DNA. Like, when people do their DNA swab and they send it to 123 DNA, whatever that, y'all know the stuff, DNA ancestry, all that type of stuff. When they do the DNA stuff, right? How do you know that what they're telling you is true?
But let if you go take a drug test on your job, and you think you're gonna tell those people that that's the wrong DNA if you fail that drug test, no, you cannot. Those drug tests were tested to be accurate. Okay, you can get a second drug test and you might fail that drug test too. But the evidence is evidence. You cannot manipulate the conversation to fit the narrative when the conversation is about facts. Okay, the ghost gene is a DNA that was discovered in African Americans. and
By
it's
who discovered it?
America,
No. What individual?
the
One person had to do it, right?
USA.
Not and the whole country didn't do it.
Oh, his name is Pablo. He's a scientist, and not only discovered it, others discovered it after he discovered it. You haven't heard about it because, for one, you're black. You're black. Okay, so
No, I ain't black.
the lack of knowledge, people perish. Okay, so
So let me go back. First of all, I heard about this way back. I already knew about when you said ghost gene. I already knew what you were talking about earlier. I've already heard about this, read about this.
Okay.
It's nothing. It's not new to me. But I have the foresight or I have the discernment to know that when these scientists are telling us about certain things, I know that what they tell us is going to be a skewed reality. They want us to believe certain things for certain reasons, which is why I lean more back on to what the Bible says about things because it's a very accurate account of how people lived way back when, why we as people behave the way we behave based on sin and all that good stuff, all that bad stuff. And so I don't believe into what a DNA company tells me about. Oh, I'm gonna see my blood in. They gonna tell me I'm 15% West African. What does that mean? West African? That's a whole coast. You know how many tribes there are in West Africa? Like it's just it's insane. So
The
likewise, when we in America, they created the black and the white thing, right? That has not always been the case. That got created by a man, just like a man said he found the ghost gene. All this is man deciding what we're supposed to believe and go forth.
I think I did. Democrats deciding what you believe and for you to go forth with it. That's the scientific evidence. That's the evidence. Okay. Democrats have decided what you're supposed to believe and what you're supposed to go forth with. Now, if you want me to go back in history from the beginning until the end, if you have time, I can surely do it. But everything you know and everything you see, and the whole entire black culture was invented by white Democrats. Do you know who tried to? Do you know who tried to change, um, to prevent somebody? You know who tried to prevent the black race from following the wrong um uh, following their destruction? Republicans. Do you know back when I think it was I don't, Ulysses Grant? Okay, I'm not sure, but the president, he didn't want black people to integrate with white Democrats. He said that will be their destruction. They're not ready yet. He said that they will experience racism. They will experience oppression. They will experience, they will take the black man's land. They said that white Democrats will take their businesses, turn them back into slaves, and make them work for them instead of black people being the dominant of their own race. And when they had Black Wall Street, okay, so guess what? Okay, and the Republicans gave the slaves reparations, and Democrats took it back. And the ancestors started voting for, Democrats. Okay, so when they started voting for Democrats, we're thinking that they made the right choices. And here they are in the year of today, And they're saying that they're oppressed, white supremacy, the white man this, the white man that. Okay, Republicans tried to warn you, and they tried to tell the ancestors, you're not ready yet. Don't integrate with white Democrats because you're not ready yet. Okay, so now you got our people, which are black people, saying white supremacists. These people are racist. These people are trying to oppress us. I feel even Michelle Obama saying, I feel that the white man has oppressed me, and I'm depressed by it. Okay, you have to go back in history to see that your ancestors, the black ancestors, are the ones who made a decision prematurely to coexist with white Democrats, and white Democrats turned them back into the slaves that Republicans trained them and taught them not to be, which means that Black Wall Street came about because Republicans guided and taught and led um, Black Republicans to be independent. Okay, so they had their own town and they were independent. And white Democrats said, I gotta stop, these, black people from being successful, and I want them to integrate, and I want them to coexist with us. And when they did that, they dogged them black people out. I mean, they dogged those ancestors out. Even on the Selma Bridge, and how bad they treat Democrats did that. And at the end of the day, people are like, why are you voting Republican? Oh my God. Do you not know your history? Do you not know what Democrats have taken you through? Do you not know the image they created about you? Do you not know they call you animals? Okay, and
Yep,
and,
that's now
not blame.
on that right there. You definitely on point with that, because the Democrats have got people believing in all this racial stuff,
Right,
and
right.
and they made laws
Mm-hmm.
for slavery, for Jim Crow. They're the ones that controlled all of that, making those laws, and then they were able to flip it around and say it's white supremacy
Republicans.
that does all this stuff. But yeah, really, it wasn't white supremacy that did it, because Republicans didn't do it. White Republic
Right, right.
white Republicans didn't do it. So how's it white supremacy if you got white Republicans not doing it, but white Democrats doing it? It can't be white supremacy, because they're not united in this
That's right.
white supremacy. It makes no sense. It's like it's almost like the ideology is what separates the two sides. Am I missing? Am I right about that, Jason?
100%.
Elle, can I ask you a question? When liberals
Yeah, go ahead.
talk, oh, sorry. When liberals try to justify, well, a quote unquote black liberals try to justify themselves by saying the party switch, exactly what do they mean by that?
They
Or
say that
or the
because a few of them say it because they really think that there was like a party switch, like around I guess like the 70s and 80s, where you had Democrats that switched over to Republican and Republicans switched over to Democrats. Then there's other ones that say, well, the Southern Democrats, what they call them Dixiecrats, back, Jim Crow time and slavery time, those Democrats over time, I guess in like around the 70s, 80s, they became Republicans, and the Republicans today are really Dixiecrats. which were Democrats.
Mm-mm-mm.
That makes sense. Like that's what they try to say.
I have the answer. Okay, so back when during the civil rights, the Republicans were in the North, right? Remember, Republicans were in the North, right? Okay, so and the slaves were where? In the South, right? The slaves were in the South, right? Okay, because the slaves was in the South with Democrats who wanted slavery, who fought for slavery, who gave up their lives for slavery, Republicans decided to send and pay Republicans that were from the North and send them to the South. So when they sent them to the South, Republicans, black and white, went to the South and they received what is documented as the Reinvestment Act. You have to look that up too. Okay, so the Reinvestment Act allowed Republicans, it was only for Republicans and only for blacks. It was not for Democrats at all. And the bill states that it's only for blacks and white Republicans. Okay. So what happened was some of the Democrats decided to pretend they were Republican so that they can get land, because in the reinvestment act they got money and they got land. It's like reparations, but it was really for them. This was after Republicans gave blacks reparations. Okay, so they sent white and black Republicans to the South. that's why you have that's why the South is red. They Most of them came from the North to get the land and the money that was offered to them in the Reinvestment Act. And that's why the South is red. The South isn't red because all the rednecks are in the South. The South is red because the North, after the war, the North felt that blacks in the South could not make it, and they could not survive by themselves around white Democrats, which were the previous slave owners, slave masters. They felt they could not survive around them, so they sent someone to protect them, to assure that they don't slip and turn them into slaves again. And that's called Reinvestment Act. So you have to do a lot of research in order to get this information. But these are facts. This isn't something I'm making up. This is a fact. It's the reinvestment. That's how Republican.
But
And what not gonna do? And I can't see anybody talking, but I want to make this clear to you, to everyone. One thing you're not going to be able to do is you're not going to be able to get rid of racist people. Okay? That's their personal preference, that's their life, and that's how they want to feel. Don't put that much effort in trying to change them people. Just like you have gay people, you have transgenders. As long as nobody is bothering you, don't bother them. Leave them alone. Okay?
but they are bothering us though.
The reason why we're bothering transgenders is because they're bothering our children. Now, if transgenders do their do and go on about their business, we Republicans wouldn't have a thing to say to them other than toot their nose up. That's it. But because transgenders want to take over the world and want to say, I want to be in boys' little girls' bathrooms, and I'm a man, and I want to play in women's sport, and I'm a man. Okay, that's when we stand guard, and Republicans are very defensive. They're always on defense because they feel they have a duty to protect Americans from what I don't know if I should say what the devil is trying to do to change this world, but Republicans are always on defense and they feel that they have to protect Americans from sometimes just like slavery, for instance. Okay, they had to protect black people from slavery. We were so naive that we didn't know, our ancestors didn't know that they were slaves and they were supposed to be free. And guess what? That's why you have Juneteenth. They still, even after they were freed, they still didn't know they were free. And so now, so black people want to celebrate Juneteenth because we were naive and we didn't know we were free. And
And then they thought they thought they was the last ones to get free too, and that was a lie.
right, but it's a
It's
lot
a lie.
that we need to study instead of just pointing the finger at Republicans and them people. And I'm a Republican, and but those white people, they love black people, and I can't say the N word, but that's it because it from the point of slavery, just and nobody give them the credit. Nobody say thank you Republican for freeing us. Nobody say thank you Republicans for giving us the right to vote. Nobody says thank you Republicans for um teaching us about Black Wall Street. Thank you and Republicans for giving us land. What do you think some of these black people, just like that land, what is that, Chantilly. What do you think she got? What do you think black people getting that land from? You thought that they just automatically became rich? Republicans was sharing the wealth,
I mean,
but
hey,
huh,
pretty
huh?
much, Democrats take the wealth away.
Right,
Republicans
right.
give you wealth. That
That's
they build. Democrats destroy. Look at
and, and
Montgomery.
but
Look
that's
at Montgomery. Hey, Deidre, you got that scripture?
okay. Okay.
Let's see if she got that scripture that she was trying to get. You gotta unmute yourself when you get ready.
Am I unmuted?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, one is Acts 17, verse 26. And hath made of one blood all nations of men for to dwell on the face of the earth, and hath determined the times of their appointed and bounds of their habitat. Okay, that's not it. Okay, Job 30:30 says, my skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat. Songs of
What?
Solomon 1, verse 6. Look
Look,
not upon
Hold on, you said Job what?
Job chapter 30, verse 30. And it says, my skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat.
Yeah, and that scripture is not about. I gotta get my Bible out, but that scripture is not about race.
And it's one more that she said,
What?
Songs of Solomon chapter 1, verse 6. Look not
Hold
upon
on a
me.
second. Hold on a second. Before we get to that, the Job
The Job one
30
is not
30.
about race.
My skin turns black and falls from me, and my bones burned with heat. So it's
Yeah,
like when you get burned. You know how people get burned, they turn black like charcoal because they turn to
mm-hmm.
ash because you're burning up. That's what he's talking about. Anyway, let's make sure he's my skin color.
But
Keep
you
going.
We ain't
can
talking about being a
dispute
black
that.
man.
You can't dispute that. You know why?
Because they say the Bible speaks in allegories, not always literal. But I'm not saying what's true and what's
Uh,
false. I'm just trying to answer L's questions to the best of my ability.
Yeah, I just
but
want to know where it says that people are black, like their skin color is black, and that means that they're like a race of black.
Yeah.
That's
it's
nowhere in there.
it's in those books. I have to come back and tell you, but it's in there. But as far as
Yeah, but those books don't count though, because they ain't in the Bible. They don't count.
but they are in the Bible. What you talking about?
They ain't in the Bible. You just said they're not in the Bible. They don't count.
Bible. They are the Bible. They're just
No,
Democrats
they're not.
moved them
They're not in the
from the
Bible.
Bible.
They ain't in there. They don't count.
Democrats moved them from the Bible. They do count. You can't think like that. That's a liberal mindset. That's fictional.
No, a liberal mindset is a person that believes that race is a real thing. Black people are like black people exist, white people exist. That's a liberal mindset because who taught you that?
You said white people. That's
Who taught you that black and white people exist? Who taught you that?
Life teaches you that.
man. When you
Life ain't a person though. But who
open
taught you that?
eyes, when you were born and you open your eyes, your doctor was white or black. Well, as
Based on what? Who taught you? Who taught
you
you?
didn't see
Who taught
when
you
you
that
open
black
your
and white
eyes.
exists? Is what I'm asking you though.
You
Who
didn't
taught you that?
see open your eyes. Okay, because you don't see till you're about months. So you were was black and white till about
But you're not answering my question. My question is who taught you about black and white though? Who taught you that?
But I'm not going to answer that question yet. But I am going to answer this. When everybody died, what color do they turn? Black.
But what's up when they die? I ain't never seen nobody turn black when they die.
Yes, they do. They do. When you're white, they outlaw turn black.
I never seen that.
What?
When you die,
Jason has dealt with dead bodies.
Every
Jason, hold on a second. Jason Isaiah has dealt with dead bodies. Jason, you seen people turn black, my guy?
I have
seen that. They turn black. I've never seen that.
I mean,
okay, Jason.
I've seen,
have you had someone to pass and stay for a whole week and not change colors? Even black people change colors. Now you get come on, let's keep it real. Let's not just
Now that's what we do. We keeping it real. We keeping it real. I really want to know who taught you about black and white. Who taught you that?
Yeah.
I want you to keep it real with me and tell me who taught you that.
We'll go back to that question, but I guarantee you that
No, we had that question right now. That question is right now. I'm asking you right now.
people
Not later. I'm asking right now. Who taught you about black and white? Who taught you that?
I'm biracial. So do you mean when did I see that this person is white and this person is black and they're not the same color? I think everybody, even a baby, sees that there's different colors in the world. They might not understand uh, the different colors. Just like there's red, there's blue, there's purple, there's black.
Yeah, but there's no people. But race. There's no purple race. There's no red race. There's no green race.
Exactly.
So
They
if
don't know what's a race.
I use that at metaphorically speaking.
No, I ain't doing metaphors. We doing reality. We in reality right now. In reality, who taught you that the black race exists versus the white race? Who taught you that?
I'm sure your parents taught you. My parents taught me. The school taught me. The church taught me. That's just something you don't ask people because they automatically everyone was automatically taught about race.
Okay. That goes back to what I said earlier. because we're taught to believe certain things by certain people because they want to keep us into a box, right?
Right.
So that man, as you said, Pablo Escobar, whoever that was, that found the ghost gene, he wanted people to believe a certain thing, right? Other scientists hopped on board and said, "Oh, yeah, we agree with him." You got other scientists that find all kind of stuff and say that's what happened. They talking about the Big Bang. We all know that no explosion created anything, but yet they tell us that the Big Bang created life on Earth and the Earth and the weather and the trees and all that kind of stuff. Scientists tell us all kind of crap, right? And so what I'm saying is, like you just said, the schools taught you about black and white. Who told the schools to do that? Other liberals. Did you know that the first man that created the word race was a German man?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's a European liberal. He made up the whole thing. Now, here we are in America, thousands of miles away, talking about black and white because a German man made it up.
It's literally a social construct. It don't exist. You're not gonna find
not real. We're having a conversation about something that's not even real.
I'm not delusional. I know it's black people, it's white people, it's Spanish people, it's Asian people. That's the name that they gave them. And you have a name that your parents gave you, and we all have names that we have, and that's what we go by. It's called English. Now, scientific fact, and it's undisputed. You can't tell me that a dog doesn't mean a dog, or a cat doesn't mean a dog, a cat. That's because you want to believe have a certain. Now, if you have a certain belief, just tell me that and then I'll imagine that and jump on board. But to just manipulate my mind to thinking that there is not a race, and it's not it's not a such thing as a race, when there are if you pull up a book. Now, everything I say is based on evidence. I don't make stuff up. But if you want to get into the point of making stuff up, then we can do that. I mean, I don't have.
What have I made up? What have I made up?
You said that you asked a question about who taught me about race. So, and also, as far as experiments, you can go back to the Tuskegee experiment. Do you remember that? Do you remember how they?
Yeah, but hold on a second. I missed something. You said I made up something. What did I make up?
No. And you remember when the Tuskegee experiment, when they tricked all them black people and them with
yeah, I mean, I don't remember it because I want to lie, but I read about it
with syphilis. Okay, so now that's science. And if those people at that time would have said, somebody injected me with this stuff and it's not real. I mean, and then you'll have someone that says that's not real. Nobody injected you with nothing. Okay, but later on down the line, it became evidence. You have pertinent evidence to prove that those people were injected with syphilis. Okay, so you can't dispute that because that is evidence. It's scientific evidence. It's evidence that you cannot just be a normal average person and just say that's not true. But you can say I disagree with their evidence. Okay, and then a person.
I disagree with anybody's evidence that black and white exists because there's no evidence that they can give us. There's no evidence. There's nothing there.
That's awesome. That's great. So we can talk from that point because I feel the same way. But I don't want to sound delusional, and I don't want to sound like I'm making something up. And I want to stay have a sound mind to not take people into my my thoughts. without letting them know this is my point of view about the situation. So I have the same point of view that I believe um that race, and you know what, Republicans, white Republicans, black Republicans, we all have the same view that race doesn't exist. We're all Americans in their eyes. I mean, sometimes when I
But
post something about black, I say black people, or I say something of that sort on my page, I have a lot of my white Republican friends that um that call me or inbox me, and they try to explain to me, we're all one people, one race under God, and we're all Americans. And I say, okay, I understand that, but the truth of the matter is we are different
but
races.
but see, but see, that's the thing. Me and Elle are trying to explain. We're not different races, though. Because go ahead. Well, I was gonna say we're not different races because you can't prove that. We can prove to you that the term race actually was invented. That's what I was saying earlier.
Right.
It's a social construct. So we can use proof to show you who created that term. Ellis told you it was the guy from Germany. He came up with the word, and therefore we follow that now. But just because we follow something doesn't mean it exists. I
Do
myself, L, we lean on the Bible. So we go by what that says. There's nowhere in the Bible that talks about race. There's no colors in the kingdom of God. That's just what it is. Now we go by that, for instance, with the whole transgender thing that you said earlier. If you have Michael and he turns himself into Michelle, he's still Michael at the end of the day. Now, the world may want to see him as Michelle because in the world, we go by transgender and all this other nonsense. But to God, he's Michael. If you're born a boy, you're going to die a boy. It's the
right.
same thing with race. Race does not exist in the eye of God. We are
Yeah.
spirits, these are containers. God didn't come up with that term race. That was created by that German dude who created that, and we go by that now. The same way we go by transgender, the same way we go by other terminology. That doesn't mean we believe it. That's what we're saying. Race does not exist because you can't find anywhere in the Bible that says anything about race. The whole thing with Job, that was a description because his skin was burning. He didn't say, I'm a black man. That doesn't exist because that term didn't come into play until I want to say the 1700s by the German guy. So we know that that does not exist.
And the guy that I'm talking about, just so people know, I'm not just talking out my ass.
Yeah,
His name is Johann Blumenbach from
that's
Germany.
exactly right.
Johann, Johann,
He
last name Blumenbach, Blumenbach. That's who created race.
he created that term. He created that term, race, and that's what we go by. That's what the world goes by. The same way somebody created the term transgender, and that's what people go by. But in the eyes of God, if you are born Michael, you're gonna die Michael. It doesn't matter if a surgeon tried to make you Michelle, you still Michael because that term transgender doesn't. God didn't come up with that. So God don't go by that. He goes by what you were made. It just is
exactly.
what it is.
Exactly. That's the point that I made earlier. And that's the point. Now, what is that? It's a leaf. That's the point that I made earlier. And that's the point that I'm glad that that y'all made, because it goes back to my statement about the fallen angels. Okay? So, since you said that Germans created the race black and race doesn't exist, so how do you describe it? Also, go back to what she said about Job. Race doesn't exist. So, if you were to look at me, you would say that I'm a black woman because my skin is brown. So if someone would tell you to sit down and write the color that you think that I am, you're gonna say black or brown. Okay, and as you said, a German invented race at a certain time, but during the Bible days, race wasn't a, and that's why when she went to look for it, she could only find the description of the race. Okay, so the description of the race goes back to me explaining the fallen angels. Okay, they said they describe the fallen angels as black. They describe, and I said this at the beginning already, they describe the fallen angels as smoke from coal. They describe the fallen angel as people, the darkness, dark. Okay,
But
so all of the description of the fallen angels of darkness. Okay, so
uh,
because it is
but
of
that's
dark,
not race
so is
though. That's
Job. Okay, I got one more thing. Okay, so Job, she stated that Job skin was black, I guess because he was sick and feeble. And that's when I came back with the statement that when people die, they turn darker. Everybody gets darker. That's a scientific fact, not just a scientific fact, that's visual. If when everybody notices when their relatives die, they get darker. That's something that's common. It's um a common farm. Okay, so one more thing is that when um Jesus, they said his skin was uh bronze, burnt bronze, right?
okay.
Okay, so his skin was burnt bronze, bronze. Okay, so because his skin was burnt bronze and they didn't have a race back then, we have to put two and two together and say that we have to put two and two together to know what color Jesus' skin was. It was burnt
Well,
bronze.
can I say this though? It's just a physical description, nothing more,
Right.
nothing less. That's all it is. It's just a physical description. It
That's
doesn't mean he was a black man, a quote unquote black man, or a quote unquote white man. He wasn't none of those races. It's just a physical description. That's all it is. Now the Bible does give him a nationality because like I was saying earlier, way early in the conversation, nationality does exist. You have plenty of people, and it tells you in the Bible what nation they were from. We're Americans. Paul was from Turkey. Jesus Christ was a Jew. They tell you where they're from in the Bible, nationality. But just because you may have darker skin or lighter skin, that's just a container. We're spirits at the end of the day. So nationality exists, but the race doesn't. It can describe and say Jesus Christ had skin of bronze. That doesn't mean he's a black man. That means his skin was bronze. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a physical description. Description doesn't equal race.
okay. So
Because with that being said, you have some Indians who are darker than all of us. You know what I mean? Like people who are from India, they're darker than us. So they don't describe themselves as black people. You have some Native Americans who are super light or super dark, but they don't describe themselves as black people. That's just the way their container looks. We've been trained to think that there is actually a race, when actuality, people are just different colors. That doesn't mean they belong to a certain race. Like Ella said earlier, you have Wesley Snipes. He's super dark skinned. You have people like Chris Brown. He's on the lighter side. How are they in the same race and they have two different containers? That doesn't make any sense. That's just their physical description.
okay, so
Everybody,
let
go
me.
ahead.
I hate to interrupt you. I'm
No, go
sorry,
ahead. Go ahead. Go
but
ahead. No, no problem. Go ahead.
talk like that, you remind me of the black culture. And look, everybody black on here, I'm telling y'all, I hate the black culture. So with that being said, I don't want to discuss the fact that um we don't want to acknowledge that Jesus was black. I don't want to discuss the fact that we have always worshiped a white Jesus in our churches, and we have not, and you don't even get a pastor to have enough sense to say, let's put a black Jesus on the wall. Why? Because this is our church and we own it and we have a right to do it, just like let me tell you something that I love about President Trump. He don't give a crap. Okay? They painted a picture of Jesus and Jesus had blue eyes, baby. Okay, so he don't give two craps. Okay, so you got these black pastors in these churches with these all these different people that black people are supposed to worship when the Bible said his skin is bronze. Okay, so if other races, and let me tell you something. Buddhists have Buddha, Muslim have Muhammad. Baby, I study every religion. Okay, and then you have all Indians have Hindu religions. You got all these different religions. And our black people won't even embrace their own religion that Jesus and God in the Bible said. He has bronze skin. He has nappy hair. He got y'all nappy hair. Okay,
What that
my
mean?
hair is
That mean he
not
black?
that hair, but he has your nappy hair, and you sit up in church and you sit there and you praise a God with fur, straight hair, just like mine, like fools, and you want me to participate in a black culture that was invented by Democrats. I will not. And I don't care who like it. You run up in my face if you want to. I'm Republican and I believe in my rights. So I'm telling you, you people, you need to get it together. You need to teach your children better than what you're teaching them. In every Black History Month, you let Democrats tell you that you were slaves, that you were beaten, that you were this and that. But you won't use Black History Month to tell these kids. You let them control the narrative. They control the narrative. You going and then you go to the museums and you go watch all the people that was hung on the cross, and you don't think that black people were hung on the cross. So was Jesus. Jesus was hung on the cross. Is there anything you need to teach me or tell me to why Jesus was hung on the cross and black people were hung on the cross? It says Jesus' hair was wool and your hair is wool. And it says Jesus' skin was burnt bronze. Let me tell you, a pastor should have took all his people to the back and had a bronze ornament and some tongs and stuck that bronze ornament inside of a fire and brought it back out and said to those children, "What color is this?" They did not. And those kids would say, "Oh, it's black. It's black." Okay, I don't care what color Jesus is. I'm still a child of God. I'm a believer. And you know what? Um, Black people haven't done me any good service. I'm pro the people that have shown me love and care for me. And I was injured by illegal immigrant. It was white people that helped me through my struggles. It was white people that passed a bill, right? White Republicans that passed a bill to protect other Alabamians from illegal immigrants. It was Republicans who fought for me when I wasn't able to fight for myself. This was years ago, baby. This was years before y'all even thought about the immigrants in this country. They were already on it. They were on it. Look, this bill was passed in 2011. This bill was passed by Republicans because I complained to them about what happened to me. I was injured by illegal immigrants in a wheelchair, and I had to build myself back up. And I begged the NAACP, I begged Democrats, I begged the black churches to hear me out. Nobody wanted to hear me out but Republicans. But Republicans. Them people, they didn't even know me. I had a white relative, and he said, you can't get any justice from Democrats, call a Republican. And I was a Democrat voter back then. So I started calling the Republicans. I didn't know them. They didn't know me. They said, okay, here, let's get your medical records, blah, blah, blah. Let's look through your stuff and see if what you're saying is true. And if it's true, then we can help you. If it's not true, we can't help you. Guess what? They got in there. They saw it was true. They went all over the United States and they shut down all those businesses that had illegal immigrants. This was back in 2011, 2012, somewhere in there. They shut all those businesses down. They fined them. Some of them had to pay $100,000. Republicans did that. And see, we're so messed up that we are voting for Democrats and won't even call a Republican and say, can you help me? You've been begging and begging Democrats for reparations for centuries. They're the ones who took it from you. They took reparations from you. Republicans gave it to you. They took it from you. And guess what? You'll never get it because you're asking Democrats. You'll never get this because you're asking Democrats. You'll never get any changes to the black community because you're asking Democrats. I'm a living witness. I'm not here to tell you to change parties. I'm not here to tell you to vote for Republicans. I'm here to tell you the truth. And the truth shall set you free. You vote for who you want to vote for. But I'm telling you that the party that's really there to help you are Republicans. I would have, I would not be allowed today if Republicans wouldn't have stepped in. I had small children that I wasn't able to take care of. And not only that, Republicans and my white relatives. I had small children that I was not able to take care of. I had an aunt that used to come and take my bath. While it was a lot of stuff that I went through that I didn't want to live through it. And I felt my children were better off without me. But here comes Superwoman and Superman Republicans that saved the day, saved my life. I personally know them, but I know they all help. Even Governor Ivy just recently updated the bill that they created when I made the complaints about the illegal immigrant trying to unalive me. He was on cocaine and disappeared. I don't know where he's at. He disappeared. He was on cocaine. They drug tested him. They drug tested me. And he was on drugs. And he disappeared. And so, yeah, and so Kay Ivy passed a bill last year to add that bill. They're really working behind scenes for me, not for me. I also recommend everybody I talk to. They say, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. I call Republican. They're not gonna ask you, they're not gonna say, well, honey, who do you vote for? That's call. They're not gonna say that. You call Republicans and you'll get answered. Don't be afraid. They're not gonna fight. I promise you. A lot of people,
Hey,
in Montgomery. I'm well known in Montgomery. A lot of people know me. A lot of people love me. I'm just a private person. I'm a very private person. A lot white, black. A lot of people.
I hope they realize that what you saying about that is so true about who if you want to get something done, don't reach out to the Democrats because they gonna just blow smoke. That's all they do, blow smoke. That's it.
Right.
That's all they good for. Just tell you what all this stuff they gonna do, and they don't do any of it.
Guess what else? They put you on TV. You nobody know about what I'm saying is because they never advertised me. They never put me on TV. They never used me for votes. They never used me for likes. They never used me for attention. That's what Democrats do. Republicans don't do that. So if you call them, you ask them for something, or you ask them for their help. If they can't do it, they're gonna redirect you to somebody that will. Okay, so and they're not going to advertise you just like Democrats when they give you that turkey every year. Oh my God. Oh my God. Every year they give black people a turkey and they put them folks on TV.
That's what they do. They pander. The
Yeah.
Democrat Party just panders, and they've always been on the wrong side of history. I mean, like we said earlier, you go back to slavery, that was Democrat. Jim Crow law, Democrat. All this transgender stuff and this nasty demonic stuff with the children now, Democrat. So Democrats have always been on the wrong side of history. It just is what it is.
Yeah. But that's so sad how they give people a turkey every year.
So they
And
pander.
yeah, they pander, but at the same time, um, those people, most of them get food stamps. They can buy their own $10 turkey. Okay. Okay, so why not help people with their utility bills? They need now. If you really talk to Republicans are gonna say you don't need a turkey, but I do believe you might need maybe $50 on your utility bills, or maybe you need some transportation, maybe you need a bus ticket, maybe you need to get to work, maybe you need some clothes, or suit to go to your interview. Okay, and another thing I don't like about the black community is that black people pay their now recently they made a few changes, but most of the time, you got white churches that feed the poor. But black people, once their churches close on Sunday, those churches don't open back up to feed black people. Them people have to go to white folks to feed them. Those people have to go to white folks to pay their bills. They have to go to white folks to help them. Then here you go, talking bad about the white person. When them folks done help you survive all and still helping you survive all these years. And you letting Democrats you to hate white people, but then you go in there and have them to pay your bill, and then you go in there and have them to help you with situations you're in. And then you talk about the police officers, but then you have to call 911 when someone do something to you. Make it make sense. And I understand you got and let me tell you something. I made complaints about police officers with Montgomery, and I didn't resist. I didn't talk crazy to the police. I walked away and I didn't and I made the complaint. And those police have body cams. I made the complaints, and guess what I get in the mail from the mayor several times. I apologize. They received disciplinary action. But Democrats got you thinking the the right way to do things is to act a fool like animals. No, it's not. The right thing to do, the right way to do things is this right here.
Put that
The
pen to
right
paper.
stuff is do it with a intent. It's not to make your feel for. It's not to beg. That's what Democrats do have black people doing. They have them marching to the store when they can just pass up bills, pass legislation, make laws, do things to protect black people, but they won't. But how about Biden did it to protect Asian people? Him and Kamala. They passed a bill to protect Asian people, but they never passed a bill to protect black people. Okay,
Black people don't exist though.
race doesn't tell, but you can't tell the world that. that Republicans believe that race doesn't exist because we're all God's children. That's just you have the mindset of a Republican, and that's just how Republicans, white and just Republicans in general, that's how they think. They really believe that we're not people of race or color. They believe that we're all God's children.
Well, I don't
They
believe that
they
we're all God's children because I think a lot of people are
Some
Satan's kids, but
Satan got kids too.
I just know, you know
have
what
to
I'm saying?
follow.
There's no race.
That's the
Uh
fallen angel.
huh. Uh huh. But hey, Jason, you got any final thoughts, man? I'm finna wrap up.
Uh, yeah. I think this was a good conversation. Maybe we can do a part two, maybe down the line with Carolyn and Deidre, and get more, in depth with this a little bit more. But yeah, I think it was a good conversation.
Mm.
For sure. Yeah, I think it's one of the conversations that we need to have more
For
especially
sure.
especially men and women having conversations about these type of things. So we
You
always
you
had a conversation with just men or whatever, and I want to get a perspective from the women too, and women who vote Republican.
That's right.
Yeah, it's rare. You know, I had very many of them in Montgomery.
because they don't.
Or anywhere. Or
Yeah,
anywhere, really.
pretty much, pretty
You,
much.
you see why how I'm holding my chin under my neck. You
Uh
see
huh.
you see you see that the
Yeah.
illegal immigrant did that to me,
Wow.
and
Man,
About that.
it up. But for long, I have to lean over to get comfort from the pain,
that's
and
messed up.
the pain medicine. I have to use herbal remedies. Also, I gotta tell people this before we get off. You need to go back to herbal remedies and juicing and drinking tea. You can't always, okay, because ibuprofen will raise your blood pressure to stroke level. It does. Try it. Get a blood pressure cuff, and when you get the 800 milligrams, make sure you're checking your blood pressure. That way, you'll know if your blood pressure, you got high blood pressure, and the reason why you have high blood pressure is because you're taking 800 milligram ibuprofen. This is a fact. Okay, so if you stop taking 800 milligram ibuprofen, and you probably be off of the blood pressure medicine, your doctor will probably take you off of it because your blood pressure will go back to normal. This happened to me. That's how I know. And also, there's also dandelion roots. Oh, y'all need to drink dandelion tea every day. Maybe a little not every day, but maybe once a week. But the first time you drink it, you got to drink it twice a day. Okay, you do the dandelion roots, you do the cloves. You better go to the store and grab all that different stuff, lemons, put it in there, start juicing, and start drinking teas, making your own teas, and drink that stuff to stay healthy because as you can see that our president and Kennedy is trying to tell you that it's some messed up stuff out there. You know what I don't like about the black culture is that they've been telling us this all our lives. They'd be like, they gonna kill you anyway. Might as well eat it, might as well drink it. But when the president says it, they're like, we don't believe that. They're talking crazy. But he's telling them that they need to take the dye out of the food.
Oh, that's too bad. She gone. What happened?
I don't know. She fall off. Oh well, hey,
She
She
gone.
gone.
oh man, shout out David. Shout out David. All right, man. Hey, man. Uh, hey, man. Appreciate you being on here with me.
That's
The
our show,
agitators, man.
man.
We got
We
some
already
special things
agitated.
coming soon to the people, man. I think they gonna like this.
I think they're
I
gonna
think
like
they're
it
gonna
too.
like it too. Just
Yeah, man. We got
we
some
got
more
the
content.
duo.
This was a
this.
long show, like live show that we just want to do tonight. Anyway, we had this conversation coming anyway. But we're gonna have different type of content that we're gonna be dropping. So yeah, y'all look out for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Yeah, for sure.
Erwin Jason, the agitator.
There it is.
So we
So
do.
we do. I think
I don't know.
I don't know.
Do you think we get agitated tonight? Do we do the agitated?
I think a little bit.
A little
A
bit.
little bit.
A little bit, you know. I think there's a little agitation, a little irritation, a little bit a little stir going on.
A little
A
bit.
little
But you
bit.
know
But
what?
you know what?
Yeah.
We did what we said we're gonna do. We're gonna spread truth. We're gonna dismiss films at the end of the day.
Hey,
That's
that
what
is.
agitators do. So
I
I think
think
that it's important to say that,
like I was
like I
telling
was
her
telling her
earlier
about
about
the
the
whole
whole
race thing. It
it
doesn't
doesn't
exist.
exist.
Doesn't.
Doesn't.
Racism, race, none of that stuff. Those are
Man-made
man-made
terms.
terms.
At the end
At
of
the
the
end of the
day,
day, God made it
God
so
made it so
simple for us.
simple for us.
You have
You have
good
good
and you have
and you
evil.
have evil.
And that's
And
it.
that's it.
Point blank
Point blank
period.
period.
That's really
That's
it, bro.
really it, bro.
That's it.
I mean,
I mean,
that's
that's
it.
it.
I mean,
I mean,
there's
there's
nothing.
nothing.
When
They
they look
they
at these
look at these
things and
things and
Jesus has
Jesus
skin
has
of
skin of
bronze and
bronze and
nappy
nappy
hair,
hair,
that and the
and the
third.
third.
Those are
Those are
characteristics.
characteristics.
We come
We
from
come from
dirt,
dirt,
flesh.
flesh.
The
The
Bible
Bible
says
says
you came
you
from
came from
dirt,
dirt,
you gonna
you can
return to the
return to the
dirt.
dirt.
That's it.
That's it.
They're just
They're just
descriptions.
descriptions.
There's no
There's no
race.
race.
Like we
Like we
mentioned, I
mentioned, I
mentioned it,
mentioned
you
it, you
mentioned it.
mentioned it.
That whole
That whole
term is a
term is a
social
social
construct.
construct.
It came
It
from
came
that
from
guy
that
in
guy in
Germany.
Germany.
And as
And
a
as a
world,
world,
in the
in the
world,
world,
that's what
that's
they
what
go
they go
by.
by.
See, we
See,
live
we
in this
live in this
world, we're just
world, we're
not
just
of it.
not of it.
And that's what
And
people
that's what
have to
people have to
understand.
understand.
Same thing with
Same
all
thing
these
with all
other.
these other.
You live
You
in the
live in the
world, but you're
world,
not.
but you're not.
There it is. That's right.
And that's
We're trying to make sure they understand, man.
They're gonna
they're
get
gonna
more
get
of
more
this
of this
stuff.
stuff.
There's gonna be
There's
a
gonna be
lot
a
more
lot more
agitation.
agitation. A
Uh-huh.
lot more.
Oh yeah, real soon.
Real
Real
soon.
Real
soon.
soon.
We didn't get
We
a
didn't get a
chance to
chance
read
to
the
read the
comments. So,
comments.
do
So
you see
do
the
you see the
comments?
comments?
Did you want to
Did
do
you want to
that
do
Yeah,
or no?
I try to put a few of them up here that I was seeing.
Oh, I see
We
one
had
now.
I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly. Seneca. He was talking
I
about
see it.
the Bible a lot. Um, about nationality being real and color kind of coming from the nationality, but he was just saying nationality is real and the race is like made up. He was agreeing with us.
100%. He agrees
So
He
with us.
agrees with
Wow.
us. Wow.
from what I could tell, he was agreeing. Shout out to him. Shout out to Chris Adler. That's my homie right there.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I missed this right here. She said this right here though. To me, this is an attempt to elevate Africans as God's chosen people. God made a covenant with Israel, not Africans. Is she a black Hebrew Israelite? Um, that was when Carolyn was talking about the whole fallen angel thing, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, man. Black people just been brainwashed,
That's what I
I
was
was
demoralized,
about to
about to
say.
say
dumbed
The
the
down,
brainwash.
brainwash.
beaten over the head with this
Mm-hmm.
nonsense. And
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 they
they
can't
can't
break
break
it
it
either.
either. They just can't.
They
They
yeah,
can't
can't
detach
yeah. Like
detach
themselves.
themselves.
you saw, like I asked her, like, how does she know about black and white? And then, it was the defense thing because she don't. You don't want to look in the mirror and say, okay, yeah, I was taught this by this person right here. Did they teach me correctly or
Yeah,
they teach
exactly.
me wrong? then you got a whole lot of reflecting to do because like okay, well, why did I believe this? And they wouldn't do that to me and stuff like that. Like, yeah, your
Yes, they
mama or
would.
daddy taught you that because they were taught that by somebody. And, I
Exactly.
mean, we all was brainwashed. We all been lied to. It's a lie.
All of us. That's right.
It's deception.
That's right.
I'm not I wasn't manipulating her. She been manipulated by other people to believe in this nonsense.
That's right.
And because we're telling her something else or asking her questions that she really can't answer, it becomes a thing where now it's a little agitation comes.
Little agitation. There we go.
Yeah, I mean,
and then they use like Job. They was using Job earlier too. Like, oh, my skin is black and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Job was going through it, man. He was going through it.
Yeah,
You know. I mean, the Bible says other things too. What does our boy Jesse Peterson say? You want to be white like snow on the inside or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the scriptures. That has nothing to do with race. I don't.
That's a fact.
I don't get it, man.
That's a fact.
But,
and she was right earlier. She said, in the Bible, it talks about black being darkness.
Exactly right. Is it the description?
That was a nail on the head right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the description of evil. People have black souls.
Yeah.
Black heart.
Right.
That's not a race thing, though.
Right. So it had nothing to do with black people. Black people had nothing to do with that. It's a metaphor for people who are deceived, who are evil, who are in darkness and sin and stuff. That's what that means.
And white refers to like purity. You know.
That's right.
But they just don't. They're taking it as literal race.
Literal people are this color.
People.
This race. That Mr. Blumenbach from Germany created.
It's all Blumenbach's fault.
Yeah. I hope he rolling over his grave right now. I'm talking about it.
That's right.
Oh, he done deceived all of us. He got these black folks. He got these black folks think they black.
That's right.
That man got these. He got these. I know. They didn't catch that bar. He got these black folks thinking they're black. Because you're black now on the outside.
Exactly.
But they think they're black on the outside too.
Yeah, that's right. That's how I was about to get at that. A lot of them are black on the inside.
Yeah, don't let that go over y'all head.
Fortunate.
Y'all get it next year. Yeah, man. Hey, man, I'm finna get up off here, man. Hey, we gonna get back to it, man. Y'all make sure y'all like and share and all that good stuff, man. We gonna get back to it.
Yes. Please, like, share, join the group. Again, L. Milliner, Jason Isaiah, we are the agitators.
There it is.
That's what we do.
There it is.
Spread
all right,
the
man.
truth, missing feelings.
We out of there.
I'm my brother.